going on, my Super Sandwiches? Rhymestyle here, and today I'm bringing some breaking news and a huge topic to discuss about the origin and explanation of Super Saiyan. Yes, I know, decades later, after we first saw Goku go Super Saiyan on Planet Namek against Frieza, we have more of an explanation as to why Goten and Trunks access to Super Saiyan, or gain access to Super Saiyan so early, and not even Kale, Caulifla, and Cabba, why their Super Saiyan transformations were achieved a lot easier as opposed to the Saiyans before them, such as Goku, Vegeta, and even Gohan. So a lot to talk about. So first and foremost, the source. This is coming from Toriyama himself. We have a brand new interview that was just released, and I want to say a big shout out to Herms as well as Kenziro for the translations that I'm getting this from. If you want to read it all for yourself, I will have it linked in the description below to their Twitter accounts. But this is what the interview says. I'm going to first read it, and then I'm going to kind of give you my response to basically what I think about all this stuff, because it's kind of crazy. Decades later. Alright, so the question was, can anyone become Super Saiyan if they train? To which Toriyama says, it's not like anyone can become Super Saiyan through training and anger. In order to become Super Saiyan, one's body must contain some called S cells. Once these S cells reach a certain amount, a trigger such as anger will explosively increase the S cells and cause a change in the body. That's Super Saiyan. Most Saiyans have some S cells, although not a great quantity. The reason why Goku and Vegeta's children can become Super Saiyan relatively easily is probably because to a certain extent they inherited a lot of S cells, and also because Earth's environment is gentler and easier to live than planet Vegeta. So we finally get an explanation, which we kind of always talked about previously. We always just said, oh, it's gotta be genetics as to why Goten and Trunks got Super Saiyan fast. But because they also have a much better environment as opposed to Planet Vegeta, because remember, on Planet Vegeta, the living sucked. You had a tyrant, Frieza, who literally would kill you off the second anyone became stronger, so it was always constantly a bad environment. Anyone who even had a chance to become strong enough to basically access these S cells were pretty much killed off. So this kind of also confirms the discussion that the community has had so many times in the last couple of months since Kale and Caulifla were revealed to go Super Saiyan, even Cabba. Because I remember when they got Super Saiyan, the one complaint from the fandom, it was always like, oh, they got Super Saiyan so easily, it's an ass pull, yet Goku and Vegeta had to train for years to get even close to going Super Saiyan. But that's why, again, we always talked about the fact that, you know, Kale, Caulifla, and Cabba and the Saiyans from Universe 6 were able to go Super Saiyan easy because they had a much different living situation. They didn't have Frieza killing people off. They had a much gentler living place. I mean, all of Universe 6 seems to be a pretty nice place to live in compared to Universe 7, which was kind of hard to live in. So that explains that. We also have more. And how does one increase S cells to become Super Saiyan? To which Toriyama says, having gentle spirit is the best way to greatly increase one's S cells, but most Saiyans have trouble with this, which I think is why no Super Saiyans have appeared in such a long time and they became the stuff of legend. However, one can reach the quantity necessary for becoming a Super Saiyan simply by having gentle spirit. So a certain amount of battle power is indeed necessary. Looked at in this light, it's easy to see why becoming Super Saiyan came easy for Goku. So again, looking at Universe 6, Cabba's a good guy, Caulifla's a good girl, Kale's a good girl. Granted, Caulifla's kind of cocky, but she's good at heart, basically. And seeing all this like get explained from the creator of Dragon Ball, like, it just makes so much more sense. So the question I want to ask you guys if you're watching this video is, how do you feel now that you have this piece of information from the creator of the series? Like, is it a lot easier for you to digest? To those, this is specifically to the people that never like Kale and Caulifla and even Cabba. Is it a lot easier for you guys to digest now that you know that this is basically what it takes to go Super Saiyan? So it's more than just basically, you know, being powerful and yada yada yada. Like everything kind of has to come together for the Super Saiyan transformation to make sense. One of the things that the community has been discussing a lot in the last couple months, specifically in the last couple months with the introduction of Caulifla and Kale and Cabba really, was why is it that the Saiyans for Universe 6 were able to go Super Saiyan so much easier than Goku and Vegeta? And again, you have to look at the way they both evolved. In Universe 6, it's a nice place to live. There is no Frieza. Universe 7, you know what happens when you get born and you're Saiyan, you get sent off to take down a planet. And if you don't survive, then that's it. That's your destiny. If you don't come back, that's it. Goku was literally sent to Earth like 2 seconds after being born. Not literally 2 seconds, but you get my point. The point is Universe 7 Saiyans, they were completely chained down. The second they got strong enough, they were killed off. They were just basically, like, they lived to work and serve under one person, which was Frieza. Whereas in Universe 6, you have this completely polar opposite realm. You can roam free, you're gentle, you're happy. In fact, they were freedom fighters. They were actually helping other planets. They're like the mercenaries of Universe 6. It is a nice place to live. So it's gentle, you have a lot of room to get strong. And of course, with you being able to access your S cells, granted, they never had the they didn't really have to like hit that trigger that much to go Super Saiyan, which again explains why Cabba, as well as any Saiyans in Universe 6, didn't really know it existed. Once it was introduced by Goku and Vegeta, it's like, oh, that's how you do it. And that's why Cabba went Super Saiyan so easily the first time. That's why Caulifla and Kale went Super Saiyan so easily the first time. That's why they went Super Saiyan 2 so easily the first time. You have the talent, you have the gentle spirit, you have the powers, you have the S cells. Like this explains so much. I'm so happy to see this officially confirmed by the creator himself, Toriyama. Which, by the way, Toriyama, if you ever want to go ahead and jump in and explain some more stuff that the community has been talking about for like the longest, like the last couple of decades, by all means, this is really, really big stuff. But yeah, that explains Caulifla and Kale and Cabba right now, as well as even Super Saiyan Goten and Trunks. Because the other question that a lot of people had back, in the Z days is why were Goten and Trunks able to go Super Saiyan so fast? And like the things that we always just kind of accepted as fans ourselves was, oh well, they got genetics, but that was kind of like more of a headcanon thing that the community discussed. Was never really official, but now it's official. The S cells inside of the gentle environment, the power of Goku and Vegeta, that's why Goten and Trunks were basically born Super Saiyan. Well, not born, but they went Super Saiyan at such a young age. So there you have it, folks. That's the big one. Oh, one more thing before we talk about the next topic, which is also equally huge, is Vegeta. So the biggest mystery that we might have right now is, well, what about Vegeta? When Vegeta became Super Saiyan, technically he was still evil. No, the answer is absolutely not. Granted, he was kind of on the cusp on his final days of being evil. He did develop to the point where he was a much nicer and gentler person, which is a much better spirit, as opposed to the Vegeta that showed up on Earth years before that, trying to destroy it. By the time, Frieza was taken out, and he came back to Earth, he met Bulma, had Trunks. It all kind of lined up. So by the time it worked out properly for him, next thing you know, boom, he got the power, he got the S cells, he got the gentle spirit, and he goes Super Saiyan. So like, this makes so much more sense with the evolution of Saiyans and what it took to go from being, a regular ass Saiyan to Super Saiyan. By the way, we have one more important thing to talk about. We actually also got this man to explain the origin of the Super Saiyans. So up until this point, a lot of people had always assumed, I don't say a lot of people, because I don't know how many people actually take this as their headcanon, that Bardock was the first Super Saiyan, but that was never actually the case. The episode of Bardock Special was literally only, was like a fun series that was kind of released a couple years ago to kind of show you something, like another timeline or something that explains, the origin of the Super Saiyan, in which case this is Bardock. We see Bardock get destroyed by Frieza, and then he magically wakes up like many decades in the past, or even centuries. I don't even know how long he went back, but he went all the way back to the point where Lord Chill was the one who existed, which was Frieza's ancestor, and then you see him go Super Saiyan and take him down, and that created the legend. That is not the story. This is the story. The question in the interview was the legendary Super Saiyan Frieza feared, the Super Saiyan God that appeared in Battle of Gods, to which Toriyama responded with, in a certain sense, they are the same person. This is the part that gets kind of confusing, but we'll talk about it in a second. That is to say, very long ago, before Planet Vegeta was the Saiyan's planet, there was a man named Yamoshi, which is actually a pun on bean sprout in Japanese, going off the whole vegetable pun for all Saiyan names, who had a righteous heart despite being a Saiyan. Remember, most Saiyans in Universe 7 were assholes. This guy wasn't, he was different. He and his 5 comrades started a rebellion, but he was cornered by warriors and became Super Saiyan for the first time. Though his transformation and fearsome fighting style shocked the other Saiyans. Outnumbered, sadly, Yamoshi eventually wore himself out and was defeated. But this was the beginning of his legend. Afterwards, Yamoshi's spirit wandered in continuous search of 6 righteous-hearted Saiyans, seeking a new savior, the Super Saiyan God. And that is why there's a ceremony to become Super Saiyan God. So that's kind of like breaking down the origins of that. Now, that part I don't really understand, because that doesn't confirm that Super Saiyan God existed as an actual person, or if that was just all the idea of a spirit. Because what Beerus said is Beerus searched for the Super Saiyan God because Beerus probably picked up on information about Yamoshi's spirit in his prophetic dream, and the fact that this is recorded in the Namekian Book of Legend is likewise because the Namekian elder who wrote it sympathized with Yamoshi's spirit. So they kind of created that legend, which then kind of got into Beerus's dream, and then resulted in him seeking out Goku, basically. And that part is kind of confusing, because I don't know if that confirms whether or not the original Super Saiyan God was indeed an actual person, but the first Super Saiyan was. The first Super Saiyan that actually created the legend that struck fear in Frieza's existence forever is Yamoshi, the very first Super Saiyan. So yeah, this is so cool to me. Like, the fact that we got this explanation decades after this was originally like, you know, revealed is just really, really cool to me. But the biggest thing here is the explanation of the S cells, which confirms why Cabba, Caulifla, and Kale went Super Saiyan so easily. So now the question I have for you guys, those watching the video, is how do you feel about that as an answer from the man himself, Toriyama? Let me know in the comment section below. But other than that, if you enjoyed this quick tidbit, make sure you thumbs up the video. I definitely want to hear from you guys, so I definitely want to see your comments down below. Again, much love to Herms as well as Ken Cyro for the translations. I'll have both of their Twitters linked in the description below, as well as the direct tweets to the actual interviews, as well as the translation that they posted. So you want to go read that for yourself, you can go look at your own eyes. This is from Toriyama's hands and mouth himself. Well, really his mouth, but this is from Toriyama himself. But other than that, that's everything. So I can't wait to see what you guys say about this. I'll see you guys down below. Enjoy the rest of your day / night. My name is Rhymestyle. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.